In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to identify hidden opportunities on the continent of Africa. I mean, opportunities for you to invest your money or set up a business or start something. How do you identify those hidden opportunities, regardless of the country? As long as they are on the continent of Africa, you are good. And this video is just gonna blow you away. And we are going to go very tactical. So I'm just going to grab my screen. I'm going to go very tactical as to um, the most effective way by which you can, I would say, quote unquote, scientifically drill into an opportunity that you probably would never have thought of. So let's get started. So one of the things that typically happens when you're in the diaspora is that you will get phone calls and emails, WhatsApp messages of family and friends, acquaintances, sometimes with good intentions, telling you to bring money to invest in X, Y, or Z. And most of the time, they do that because to them it's their area, So, and I did a video earlier on that you can check. You can check up there that talks about the do's and don'ts when you want to establish a business or when you want to get into an investment. So one of the things that I discussed was that you never jump into a venture when it's just recommended by somebody and you have no core competency in that area or in that value chain. That you are going to pay a big price. That's a tuition fee you are going to pay. And unfortunately, for some people, the cost of the tuition fee, the quote unquote tuition fee, could be so high to the point of it just runs them out of the continent. Or sometimes the cost could be so high you lose all your share, you lose all your money. So we don't want that to happen. So the best thing is when you get all these calls from people, do not be tempted. It's always a risk here. Do not be tempted. I've seen many people fall victim to this. Do not be tempted. Stick to your core. Stick to areas that you have core competency. Verticals that you have some kind of core competency. You have some skill, experience, network, or distribution. Once you have that, then you can take very good look at it. With all that said, this one is a bit different. This is more tactical. This is a more scientific approach in terms of identify this industry sector or business opportunity to pursue, whether you're on the continent or you are not. So let's drill right into it. So the tool that we are going to be using is we're going to be using one of these latest AI tools. And this is called NotebookLM by Google. You can actually use any of these large language models, but any of them. So you can use Claude, and as I'm speaking, AI is just, it's the evolution is so fast that once you recommend one tool today, maybe 2 months down the road, it will be completely useless, right? So, but currently, the tools that I would recommend are, I would say, this NotebookLM is what I'm using for this, right? But there are others. So you can use Claude 3.5 Sonnet is very good. And for this exercise, I think the best use of, if you're going to use Claude, then it has to be a pro version. You can also use ChatGPT 4.0, and that would also have to be a pro version. The reason why I'm saying it's going to have to be a pro version is that you are going to load a massive amount of data set into them. And as you query, if you have that massive data set and you are querying them on the free plan, you can use them, but you probably may be able to query it maybe once or twice, and you would reach the limit of the threshold or the limit in terms of tokens that you are supposed to use, right? So if, for most of these, the free ones, the token thresholds are very, very small. But for the pro versions, it's like massive. So for instance, Claude Pro is like 5 times the number of tokens that you would need for free version. If token is something that you don't understand, just don't worry about it. So it's just technical jargon explaining the number of characters that can be, inserted into the input box of the prompting window, right? Or basically that's what it is. So let's jump into. We're going to be using NotebookLM, and this is a cool thing that Google has. So it's actually right now in experimental mode, but I love it. So if you enter into NotebookLM, right, you see something like this. So I'm going to create a new notebook. So I click here and I create a new notebook. Okay, so I click on that. So you're going to see that it says add sources. So the source that we're going to have is, we are going to go to a fresh Google page and just type in, I think I have it here, Ghana's 2024 budget. Right now I'm in Ghana. So if you're from Kenya, you can type in Kenya's 2024 budget, whatever year that you want to review. You can even do 2023, 2020, whatever it is. If it's 2025, you do that. If you are from Nigeria, you can, or if you want to explore opportunities in Nigeria, you do the same thing. Just put the name of the country you want to find information about opportunities, and then put budget, right? And if once you do that, so I click on this one, it takes me to, I think, the finance ministry. Yes, it takes me straight there. Okay, so then all you do is you click on, there are several of these. You can actually download all these documents, but for illustration purposes, I'm just going to download one, right? That's the main budget statement. So I'm just going to click on this to download this, and as I download that, it's going to be a PDF file. So I'm going to inject this document into NotebookLM. So you're going to see how I'll do it in a second. So it's okay. So now it's open. So I'm going to okay, I'm going to download it. So I click on this one to download, right? Okay. So once that download, okay, so I put it there. Okay, so I'll say, I'll call it version 1. Okay, so I put it there and I save it. Okay, then I go back to NotebookLM and I said, okay, let me upload. So actually you can, you can actually pick documents from Google Drive, right? Or Google Slides. You can actually even bring links. So actually, instead of using the download version, I probably could have used, let me see, I probably could have just copied this URL and place it there. I've not tried it. Maybe we could try that one. So I'll just copy that URL. And then I will are you interested in connecting with expert professionals from the diaspora community? We've built something special, a platform called Find Diaspora Experts. This platform helps you connect with top-tier African diaspora experts to get advice over a video call. The use cases for such a platform are many, but let's just run through a few. The first one is, this could be used as an expert resource for corporate training. It could also be used as a resource for keynote speaking engagements, also for executive coaching, for special consulting services, and then last but not the least, as a pool of expert talent for recruitment. So if you are interested in being the first to know when we onboard new experts, or when we launch new expert-led cohort-based courses or training programs, then click the link in the description below to join our early access list. Thanks, and let's jump right back into the video. See you there. There's a website. So I'll just paste the website there. So let's see. I don't think it recognizes a .pdf. So let's stick to the download first. If it's a full website, it's going to be either an HTML website, which this is not. So let's go back here. It says add sources. So once I get back here, you click add sources. Let's go to choose file. So in this case, I'm going to choose this file. It's going to be in my downloads, and I select that. Okay, then I will upload it. So as it's up, the moment it says your saved notes will appear here. It takes a little bit while, depending on your internet connectivity. It takes a little bit while for it to be fully loaded. And once they are loaded, then the fun part begins. So sit tight and let's take a look at this. Let me just quickly move this video forward to the point where it's fully, uploaded. Great. So now this, the kicker has landed, right? This document is fully uploaded. So what you could see here is you could see there's a summary version of this document here. The summary says the document is a 2024 budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana, right? The document outlines the government's economic strategy and goals for the next year, focusing on restoring macroeconomic stability, coordinating debt operation program, and ensuring protection for vulnerable populations. It goes on. There are others, but this is just the basic structure of it. Now, this is crazy, right? NotebookLM is crazy, so out of this, you could even generate a podcast, right? You could generate a podcast out of it, but that's not going to be the focus of this video. I'm just giving you a teaser, right? I love technology, and I'm more proficient in AI than most people would, in all humility. But it's just a passion of mine, right? So you could, once you click here, it will generate a podcast for so think about, and the podcast is going to be like very nice natural language discussion between two people talking about this entire budget document. How about, it doesn't get any better in terms of ability to assimilate knowledge, right? Break knowledge down. And reading a 325 page, actually you can see it. You can see that, let's see, the document was actually 321 pages. Who can read that? So what we are going to do, it would have taken you hiring a consulting firm, paying them thousands of dollars to be able to do what I'm about to show you for free. And let's get on with it. So what you can do is that it even gives you suggestions here about certain questions that you could ask about this document, right? So the objective here is to help you extract valuable insights, to discover opportunities, to discover emerging trends, and also identify hidden risks in investing in any economy, particularly for the continent of Africa. This is information that has not been there before, right? So these are suggested questions that the notebook LM is actually given to you. So it says, what are the key macroeconomic challenges Ghana faced in 2023? And what policies are implemented to address them, right? So if you, just for the sake of, let's click on that. So the moment you click on that, it's going to query that document and return its findings based on the text embedded in this 2024 budget statement. Sometimes, depending on the question, it takes a little bit of a while to think. Other times it's as a result of connectivity, right? So this is the answer, right? This is the answer to it. But the cool part of this is that although it says Ghana's macroeconomic challenges in 2023 and policy responses. So if this is an area that you have interest in, it says, what are those? These are high inflation. It says Ghana experienced significant inflationary pressures in 2023. While the year started with inflation at 54.1% in December 2022, that's quite high. It gradually declined to 35.2% by October 2023, right? It says core inflation excluding energy and utility prices also fell from 53.2% to 39% over the same period. So you are seeing these are the result. This is amazing. But the cool thing is that it gives you a citation of which part of the document, right? This information that this answer was from. So if you hover over it, it's just going to show you where exactly. So as you hover over it, this is the exact place that where it says price developments indicate that inflation is on a declining path in response to ongoing fiscal consolidation, right? So these citations, these are giving you exact places. You actually can click on them, and it's going to show you exactly where in the document, in the budget statement or the budget document, it was able to pick that answer from. It gets far better than that, right? So, and it actually even highlights them for you. So this fully highlighted over here, right? Now, for our purposes, remember, we want to find out which sectors of the economy aligns with our skill set, aligns with our background, aligns with our value system, and aligns with our taste for certain kinds of investments, right? So what I did is that I put together a list of 20 questions that could help you extract these valuable insights from any country's budget. So let's start with a few of them. So we're just going to start with one. Let me just grab this. So I grabbed it. Says this first one says let me just grab it and just to save time, right? So that so I'm just going to paste it here. So I pasted it here. It says, what are the key sectors receiving increased funding or incentives in the 2024 budget? So let's see what will come out of it. So the moment you drop it, it goes into thinking mode. Actually, let me minimize this side. Whilst it's thinking, it goes into thinking mode and it drops the insights. That's the amazing part of it. So let's look, let's see what result is going to come out of this, right? It's thinking now, boom, that's your answer. So it's saying that the key sectors with increased funding and incentive in Ghana's 2024 budget. These are the sectors, right? So it says the 2024 Ghana budget emphasized a two-pronged approach: fiscal consolidation to address economic challenges and targeted investment to drive growth. Several sectors are highlighted for increased funding or incentives. So these are the sectors, right? So if you are into investment, this is your bread and butter. So the first sector is social protection. So he's saying that these are the areas that have come under the microscope in Ghana. The government is giving it extra attention in terms of increased funding and incentives. So it says the budget emphasizes social protection. The budget emphasizes protecting the poor and vulnerable as a key pillar of economic recovery. Then there's increased budgetary allocation. The budget allocates 11% increase, representing 0.5% of GDP to crucial social intervention programs. And what are they? These are the social intervention programs. LEAP grant doubling. There's the school feeding program expansion. There's the focus on efficiency and timely disbursements. Then the other sectors are financial sector. So these are the areas that the government is pushing funding and incentives into, right? So then the other one is the financial sector. That is, and then the third one is SMEs and entrepreneurship. So the government is putting laser focus on SMEs and entrepreneurship. So then the next is tourism. Then the others, climate sensitivity, climate sensitive growth, digitization and technology, right? Agriculture, and so many. So you can actually pinpoint where the government's focus is, because believe you me, in Africa, the government controls the larger part of of the spend in the nation. I think for most African countries, government controls probably sometimes 70, 80, sometimes even 90% of the spend within the economy. So if government is spending in construction, it's like surfing on a wave. You know, surfers always wait for the big what do you call it? You know, surges in the waves, and then they latch onto that, and that surge or that tidal wave picks them from one area to another, or they're able to have phenomenal ability to surf, or I would say, I don't even know. I'm not a surfer, but I've seen them on TV and documentaries. So it's like, wow, the bigger the wave, the more the surfer enjoys it. And the bigger waves typically in Africa comes from government. So what happens that once you identify an area that government is committed to spending money, and it's within your area of expertise, within your area where you have a core competency, or you have networks, you have some kind of distribution, then you can come up with a strategy to be able to take advantage of that tidal wave that is government, right? But my advice, based on my experience, is this is my advice. I mean, you can ignore it as much as you like, but this is just a personal recommendation based on personal experiences. The issue is, I wouldn't want to go, let's say government is going to spend on roads, actually. So, or government is going to do maybe massive road construction. Definitely they are going to need the road contractors to that they will need to be awarded different levels or different kinds of contracts to be able to deliver on those road projects. Because of the bureaucracy in government in Africa, particularly the red tape and also the underhand deals that go on. Most of the time, if you are from the diaspora and you're coming in, you want to stay far away from those kind of things. This is me, my personal view. I stay away from those things. You want to stay far away from those things because those things will come and bite you, because typically they don't know you have to put some money under the table. That's a given, right? So if you are not a putting money under the table type, then this strategy I'm going to talk about is for you. You don't target the primary contract with government. So let's say for the construction company, you're not going to target, okay, I want to be the one they give the $200 million contract to. That will not happen unless you put a large chunk of it under the table. Okay. But what you can do is you look at services, products that you can offer these primary contractors. So these primary contractors are also surfing the same tidal wave, right? They are surfing it. But you go behind them to provide them support services, or you provide them any ancillary service that would help them be able to deliver on their contracts. Okay. So as you do that, what is going to happen is that you don't have to be accountable to any government. You don't have to do any underhand deals. You are dealing with a private construction company or a private vendor who has won a major government contract. Yours is just providing them service, maybe selling them building materials or providing them certain consultancy services. You are riding the same wave. So I just want you to wrap your mind around this concept, whereby you are not the primary, but you are like a secondary. You are like a subcontractor. So you are a subcontractor under a main contractor who can deal with the government and all their shenanigans. You don't have to do all that kind of crap. You tag along with them and provide them service. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and look at a couple of questions that I prepared. So this is interesting. It says this question you can query this. And actually, talking about questions, I have these 20 questions. They are amazing. If you have time to unpack all these 20 questions, it's going to make a world of this. So I'm going to include a link to these 20, to the link that you can access these 20 questions for free. And you can use them to kind of analyze any budget at all. And with this kind of list, there is no way you will not find the golden gems hidden in this kind of budget documentation. So let's look at this one. It says, what sectors are targeted for job creation and how might that affect the labor market, right? So let me just put that in here, right? So I'm just going to put that in here and query the document. So, and then the last one, okay, let's finish this one and then you query this. So the next thing is, as it's thinking, or as as NotebookLM is thinking about that question, one of the things that I will show you is this button here. You can save this to note, because if anytime it gives you an answer and you do not click to save it, you kind of lose it in a way, unless you query the model again, right? So, and I'll show you what I mean. So you can save it to note, but this is just going to show you. It's just going to show you. Actually, it's thinking, so it's just going to bring the answer. It takes a little bit while sometimes because it's still experimental, but this is great. This is great. I know I love Claude Sonnet, but this is awesome too. Okay, so this is the answer. It says the targeted sectors for job creation and potential labor market effects in Ghana's 2024 budget. So, assuming when you look at this and you see that these are the areas that government has earmarked for job creation, and you have a product or service that can benefit the nation, or can benefit the economic sector, that is power. So let's look at some of them. So in agriculture, there's targeted interventions here. It says the budget prioritizes interventions to boost production, enhance value chain arrangements, and improve access to finance in the agricultural sector, right? So specifically the others, it says Economic Enclave Project. It's called EEP. For those in Ghana, I don't know what it means, but it says the EEP will see the establishment of 5 new enclaves, aiming to create approximately 5,000 jobs for youth in commercial agriculture. And if you want more information, there it is, right? So these are the citations, the 3 and 4 citations, right? So this is actually the Minister of Finance reading the budget to Parliament, and this is so then there's another one. It says Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2. It's also another intervention project that will likely is designed to create jobs. Aquaculture expansion. It's like this is high level intel. You couldn't have done this without AI. That's why I'm going to be doing another episode focusing on AI and its benefits. You couldn't have done this without that, right? And NotebookLM is a masterpiece in getting that. Let's do maybe a last one. Is that's talking about infrastructure projects, right? Or he says, okay, this one says which infrastructure projects are prioritized in the budget. So this, if you are an infrastructure person in the construction trade or anything like that in project management, this is your area. So you can drop that in. Says which infrastructure projects are prioritized in the budget. So let me drop that in there. And then actually, before I do that, let me save this to note. So you see that as I saved it to note, it's here. Anytime I come back, I can use it. I can rename this notebook to I would say Ghana 2024 budget. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so I come here and then I put the infrastructure question in there. Which infrastructure projects are prioritized in the budget and how might they impact various sectors? Okay, other questions like, hey, can you tell me, you can type anything, can you tell me what are the main industry sectors that make up Ghana's economy? And to give you, there are actually 3 of them: services, I think, infrastructure and services, industry, and agriculture. That's Ghana's economy for you. And then under services, there are others like financial services, telecoms, and all the others. And then industry is typically manufacturing, construction, and then you have agriculture. So that's the whole agriculture value chain. So you can look at it and then pinpoint specific industry. So I can say, hey, what are so actually our answer has just landed where it's talking about infrastructure projects. So we have road infrastructure, right? And the government is saying priority projects. That's those in Ghana. This Tema Motorway project. The budget indicates ongoing preparation for the construction of critical roadway with a concession agreement awaiting parliamentary approval. So that's a big. Those who live in Ghana, Tema Motorway is critical. It's an international, I would say, highway, right? That links Ghana to almost the entire West Africa. The mining sector, roads rehabilitation. So if you are into roads, this is your intel. You can get in there, know specific areas that you're talking about without paying a dime to any consulting company, right? You can do this in the comfort of your home, whatever it is. So now, finally, assuming, let's say you want to query a specific industry, you can say, let's say, tell me, let's say, opportunities in the, let's say if it's the pharmaceutical industry, are there any opportunities for the pharmaceutical sector, right? Okay, let's see what it will bring. So you can put in it. If yours is logistics, you can do that. If yours is healthcare, I mean, medical devices, you can do that. If yours is telecommunications, security, storage, supply chain, you can just name it, put it there. But I'm going to give these super high, super targeted questions to extract anything out of a budget. I'm going to leave that link in the description below. So this is our answer. Any the opportunities for the pharmaceutical sector, these are them. Promoting local pharmaceutical manufacturing. So in the budget, the government is giving priority to promoting local pharmaceutical manufacturing. I think in part because of how the COVID vaccine thing unraveled, right, on the continent of Africa. So these are the financial support through Ghana Exim Bank, improving access to medicine and healthcare, right? So it's like National Electronic Pharmacy Platform. So if you're in the IT sector, this is your foray. They want to provide a national electronic pharmacy platform. Is there maybe some APIs that you can do to link up to create some other platforms, or is there any service that you can offer them? Maybe some patient privacy kind of technology that you have. It's endless. This is just that. So this is getting excited, but I want to end here. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do so to subscribe. We're talking about real issues here, real impact, information that can really the information that is valuable, particularly to our brothers and sisters who are looking back home, the brothers and sisters in the diaspora, or returnees who really want a place for inspiration, hope, and information. Because I've walked your journey. I've walked your journey for 16, 17 years, and I'm back here and I'm seeing all these things, and I'm putting together information that would help you to be able to unpack opportunities that are available here. All right. Thank you. Stay blessed. And I see you in my next video. Bye.